Well, as I said, this was done at the AGDX convention in Osaka in 2014. So let me see here. What do I need to do? Okay, I think we can just start.
You should put that on the desk.
Yeah,
Hopefully I'll be able to log in and everything will be okay. I don't know. Probably go on right away. I think it was connected pretty well.
Click if you do upgrade your Windows.
Who's watching the web today?
I don't know what it's about.
You ever remember one time you logged on to it and talked to me all the way from the States?
Yes, I did, yes.
Yeah, we were, we're pretty close, and I could run my bike in like 20 minutes. He'd bombed onto his radio in America.
I worked it from California. Huh? I don't know, I just checked in earlier and it was okay. I don't know what's wrong now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Try to turn up the volume here.
No, that's amazing.
I'll try to turn this up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
He turned me on to using remote control for the station. And my situation is that I have a station in California here in Los Angeles. I go back there 3 or 4 times in a year, but I would say most of my time here is spent in Tokyo. So not being able to use the station in California was kind of, as you say, Japanese book by night. It's going to waste. So when George turned me on to the idea of remote, I thought, hey, I want to go with that. And George in the heart was a salesman, as you know. And he said, oh yeah, it's a plug and play. No big deal. And I thought, oh no, this is for real. I think part of the reluctancy was because that I was completely ignorant to IT-related stuff. I had no idea even what an IP was. I had no idea. But anyway, I took George's word for it, and he turned out to be a good salesman for that. By talking to me, and I finally purchased the remote rig, which is made in Sweden. And bought it, I believe it was in December, and then I made a couple of trips back and forth to States and certification, the radiation that's helped me out to get it set up. And I went through quite a few teething incidents, but got going. And I started in partnership in 2011. Been using this since that time. Unfortunately today, for some reason, it's not working. I got it working in my hotel room. I was in the SS this morning. Working guys outside, but I don't know what's happened now. Maybe the connection is not so good. Maybe there's something else. But
This was done in November, so that's why.
yeah, maybe. So I was just using my smartphone as the interface to the internet. It was working fine. But I'll explain a little bit of my station and how I'm doing this, and try and give you as much insight. Way I'm doing this. This is a this here, and this is a 1200 meter beam up to 70 feet. This is a 80 meter one at about close to 80 feet, and this is a 390 feet. And it's on the back tower at the GH 98. create 2 element phase array for 30 meters, which is about 70 feet. So I have 6 antennas which I'm using. The plan for the future is to load this so that I can run it on, use it on 80 and also 160. So I'm in the process of making branch box that I can control remotely to get that to work.
I have done that, I'll show you later.
2,800 rotators on both towers, which are also remote control. And some remote control aspects I can show you today, but what I cannot show you is the actual connection. What I was hoping to do is make some SS components today, but that's not going to happen. There's another view. The rest of the picture is not quite in the order I wanted to, so I'm going to have to backtrack. That's part of my station. This I built in the 1960s when I was some years younger, and has a pump has a pair of 813s, a grounded grid, and old trusty 4-1000. They give it a more look when it's needed, and it still works today. So the old stuff just keeps on going. So, and these are the 2 Orient motors using green camera. And here you see the same router control, which also is remotely as well. And in here is the 15 web switches, 3 brands and 5, which I use to contain antennas, turn the amplifiers on and off, and do other things that we need to do. Control and things like that. So, in here is if any of you have the 80 meter degree dive, you know it has 5 positions. There are various positions of the band. But this is manual control. But I'm not there, obviously. So what I have done is I have wired in the switching equipment that allows me to do the same thing remotely. So that I can pick any portion of the band, any meters that I would be able to take if I was in California. Now on this side here are the amplifiers and the router.
You'll see the nexus on the left is right. Let's see. Yeah.
This is the amplifier, high power HL 2500. As you know, unfortunately, high power went out of business last December. I'm one lucky ones, about one of the last ones. So, as long as it keeps running, I'll be happy. But I've heard that HRO still will do repairs on them. But I heard they shipped about 10 to the US, and I bought one of those. And then they went out of business.
Because you bought it.
It's 1500 watts, legally all bands, and 1 kW on 6 meters.
Okay.
I also have the backup, the KPA 500, which is a great amp. And that works very, very well. There's a view of everything.
That was on the left side that you couldn't see earlier.
Here you see the router. This is a motor with 3.0. And then I'm using also a splitter because I have some connections to the router. Here is a TS-80. This is the transmitter side. The co-channel, which I have here, should be on them. This is what I use to control. It's really no different. When it's working, it's no different than out there. The latency is not right. You can see that be at 30 words a minute.
Is this one of the rooms in the house or a shed?
It's
These are the
a separate room from the garage.
relay, the device relays, the pulsing relays. At the time, this was the only way I could figure out how to do the switching, so they're all getting here. Just switch to anyone since it hit us. some of them are on all the time, so I thought, well, if I just hang them from the wall here, things get a little bit warm if you keep them on for a little while. But I've never had any problem with them. They're very, very good units. Again, this is switching back I mentioned earlier for the web switches. Each one of these has 5 switches. And I have one where I built this little quad case as a first experiment. I wanted to make it. I wanted to get some first experiment that what would be this is like the first stage of the ever went to the second stage, and I never figured out what I've done. So, and I see again the switch here. Will be a trade. And what I have here is I have a switch here at the top. So when I go up, I don't want to use it very good. I put the switch here and then turn it up. Manual switch. It's a relay. The next thing I can show you, except for turning the rig on, I can show you how I access all the switches. I can turn the locator, the plate, and change pads on the stepper and so on. Now I've called it the license. It should come up with it. There we go. The way I have this wired now is not the efficient way. The next is an override line to put it on this line. I have them all wired in serial, so when everything is off, then I'm connected to the PA7. I turn this on. Now I'm on the stepper. If I turn this one on, now I'm on the 30-meter plug. This is a 40-meter dipole, which I mentioned there will be an 80 and 160-meter dipole with matching box. Okay, so this is a 300 piece. This is a good one. And this is the I'll leave those on. Let's pull up the rotator. And now if the 55 foot torque says I know what antennas are on which power I know what I have to do. So let's say the PA7, if we want to turn it down to pointed north because I'm in California. So let's say I want to point it east, let's say 80 degrees.
Dan,
Yeah,
can you make it louder?
I can't, this is Max.
Max?
Yeah, I don't know why. Come here,
Eh?
come here.
Yes, sir.
Is the video, not the laptop volume, but the video volume maxed up too?
ビデオ、これはマックス。
Max, what is this?
Yeah.
これマックス。
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
マックス。じゃあこれはこっちの
Slow down the
シュリンクして、フルサイズじゃなくして、
Like,
これか。そうすると、どこだっけこれやってんだ。やってんだね。
unfortunately, I don't know why it's not louder. This room is bigger. At home, it seemed loud enough.
Try.
So it's pretty versatile. All of these controls, except for the locator, are using the remote rigs that have option controls like net switch, controls,
Can you talk like he's talking?
Oh, can you, who can hear, can you hear?
So I have 8
Oh,
years.
okay. I'll give you a special personal presentation. Went down a little bit. That turns the amp and then that turns it from standby to transmit. It's a solid state amp, so it automatically senses the input frequency and changes bands automatically. KPA 500 is also the same.
I can control the KPA 500, but I do this through RS-232 ports in the black box, which is not working right now, so I can't show you. This is the switch to change the band segments over at 80 meters.
Let's say 80-meter band segment change.
So it's off on the low end of 80 meters.
That's low end.
Maybe it's not that broad. The first maybe 30 kilohertz or so. And then the second portion, the CW band, I just turn this on. And I automatically switch the matching circuit at the top of the antenna there, the feed point, to adjust that. And then if I want to go to low phone, which is, this covers around 3730 to about 3780 or so, I just have this one. And then from 3780 to 38, maybe 20, 25, I hit this one. So I can cover most of the band, and I found the 80-meter band to be very efficient. It's 1.5 dB down from the full size line, which is not so bad. And I've had pretty good luck with it. It's quite direction. For what it is, I've been pretty happy with it. So essentially, I can cover all bands 80 through 6 meters, because the skipper also has 6 meters. And I've had a lot of fun on 6 as well. I can run full power on all bands. Latency is not a problem. Of course, phone is not a problem either. I have the goal to do RTTY in the future, but I bought a Icon 7100, which I plug into also like a switch to either one. The 7100 also has a removable front control panel. And you can receive RTTY directly. So I'm working on that, and hopefully in the next year, hopefully early next year, I can try to figure it out. I think that would be good too.
I actually have it hooked up and running now too.
And then once you get all of these up here to the top, I think this looks good. I also have CAP. So this means my logging program, like NYML, which I normally use. The CAP goes through this box. The RS-232 coding. It's a transparent port. So the frequency of that is automatically shifted to my logging program. Jesus, it's really cool. It's just not on. It's telling me that runway would automatically find to a beam that are being the logging program. The frequency of the logging program. So, that's very well. So, for all practical purposes, it's no different when I'm here or if I'm in my So, it's just a little embarrassing. The switch is on and off also from my cell phone. So, now I'm going to turn off the 80-meter on my cell phone. Yes, it will go off. Well, we just came out with the software where I can control my radio from the cell phone. We just came out with a new version. I haven't tried to load it in. I loaded in the experimental version. And it seemed to work okay, but I don't know. I think the new one's going to work out pretty well. So you can go back and go through. If you need a new one, you did it with your wife, and you said, excuse me, I need something better. your wife doesn't know what happened. So, or you can tell her that it's also fine, but so obviously it offers some new possibilities. So I'm constantly improving. There are many improvements I can make on this. Technology is also advancing. We don't have time today, but actually I brought another computer where I can control everything completely from the computer. So I have the full TS panel on the computer that I can tune it into everything exactly the same way as I can do it this way. I'm not guy, you know, I did it, so it's not bad, and it works. And I also tried this morning. I made 5 contacts. And that's it. It's 3 contacts. Just to play around. Works fine. I'd show you today as I mentioned, but I think we'll do it another time. That's good. So, keep it short. I hope you got some feeling. If you have any questions.
And I took some other pictures which show the improvements I have made, but these are just pictures and not the video. So I'll cut this off now.
You just missed the show.
We have a little time to explain my station.
One more thing to finish. Yes. Hi, Bill.
Hey, how are new faces? I mean, I'm new to you too, but
So the other thing I will show you then is, let's see. You remember in the video I mentioned that on the 40-meter dipole, that I'm going to put an antenna coupler at the feed point. And this is an automatic tuner type of antenna coupler, which means that you just drive it with any frequency and it automatically matches it. And if you do it at the feed point, then you get much less loss than if you do it at the coax feed point in your shack. So I have done this as a follow-up. You'll see it here. You see it on this is the 40-meter dipole you saw in the other picture, and this is the antenna coupler I put in there. And I built a little box at the top, and which I have two coax lines feeding this. One goes, you have a relay in here which connects the coax line through this balun directly to the 40-meter dipole. Or I can switch the other way, and then the antenna goes through the relay directly to the coupler, and then it's fed at the bottom there by the coax. So I can first I have to switch this, and then once I'm switched over to the coupler, any frequency I put into this coupler, it will automatically match it. And I even use this thing on 160. This is SG230. I forgot who makes it now. It's made also from Washington. And it's probably the best coupler for matching everything and anything. So anything from 160 through 10 meters I can match using this. But I mainly put it actually for 160. And the only thing is you can only drive it with about 100 watts or so. It won't take too much more than that. But I've been able to work about 40 states or so on 160 so far. And operating the contest, it's fun. I like to run more power, but the limitation is in the coupler. But it's still fun. But the person on the other end who's trying to work me really earns their contact with me, I think. But it works on 160, which is great. It works on all the other bands as well. So that was my way of getting on 160 easily, shall we say. In future, I'm planning to improve this and be able to increase the power somehow. I need to think about how to do that now. And you can see, let me see here. There's it from a different angle, another angle. You see part of the other antennas there at the same time. Okay, and then and the next thing is, let me just see here. This on the bench there, on the left side, you couldn't see very well, but you can see there. You see it much better now. Everything together. That's the amp. Tokyo high power. This is a you can see this. This is an Array Solutions power meter, which is I connect to the RS-232 line directly, so that I can see the power output. And this is the KPA 500. This is kind of a spare amp. Before I got the KPA 500, I was using this Amatron amp, but this is only limited to 1 band at a time. It was still fun. I use it on 20 meters normally. Here you see the TS480, the transmit portion. And I told you I added the icon. That is right here. This is also the icon now. And I have a switch in there. I can switch to either one. So now I have 2 possibilities. I can use either one. And actually, the icon is better. But the TS480 gives you a lot more, I think, versatility in some aspects. So I'm happy with both. I can go either way. I would never want to rely on just one. Or if I had to, it would be the TS480. Also, the ICOM 7100 has that touch panel. And it's working fine. I've never had a problem with it, but I'm not comfortable. I worry, what if one time that panel gives out? Or, I just feel kind of not so secure for some reason. So by having the TS480 there, I always have a good backup.
Don't have remote fingers.
Right. And here's the 2 additional splitters here for the, I have so many different inputs feeding to the router that I need additional linking. So this is a router itself here, and this is a modem that goes to the outside world. That is the other one. So there you see everything now in one picture. And the amps, I built these amps in the mid-60s.
Wow.
So I was around 16, 17 years old at that time.
And tubes are still good.
It's still good.
And you're still alive.
I'm still alive too. But I think the tubes will outlast me. But,
We'll see. We'll see.
yeah, that's also the reason I don't use it, but the old meters, 9 plate voltage, cathode current, input line voltage. You can't see it here. Here I had, I took it out for a time, I had a Variac. It was 240 volt Variac, I think 30 amps. And I would use that to adjust the plate voltage. I had, at first I was using the mercury vapor tubes. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
You sound like my dad.
Yeah.
School's in the door, it's great.
I used the mercury vapor tubes, and but later I decided to go to silicon diodes. We have to put a string of them in there with a PIV. I guess each one was a 1K PIV, and I put about 20 of them in series together with the resistor and the capacitor across each one to equalize the voltages and all that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And
I didn't know that was that old.
I have, I should have taken a picture of this. In the back, I have the transformer. Actually, the transformer on this wouldn't even fit in the rack. It's actually, you see right here, there's a space. At the bottom there on the floor is a transformer. It weighs 300 pounds. It's oil filled, an old surplus transformer from the military. It's 4,000 volts, 2 amps. And also behind this rack, I'm only using half-wave rectification. The reason I can do that is because I was able to get this huge oil capacitor. It's about, from the ground, it's about this high. Well, like this, it weighs about, I don't know. It takes 2 guys to get it in there. And it's 150 microfarads to 6,000 volts, oil filled. I mean, since they're oil filled, you know, they last forever. And then you don't need full wave rectification with that much filter.
I have a question. Are you try to checking it behind the panel when you're back to home?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be careful for some nests.
Oh, yes, you have to be careful. But I don't use this much anymore now. So, but it still works. I turn the filaments on. Every time I get home, I turn the filaments on, and then the fan starts twirling, and I start feeling good again.
Whenever you want to heat up the room.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was this time, I guess I was 16, 17, 18 years old, somewhere around there. But he didn't cut it. Pardon?
How many watts does it put out?
More than enough. Well, you know, I could drive it with 813s, and 813s will put out KW. Well, actually, in about, they won't put out KW. They'll put out about 700, 800 watts. But of course, they don't. I could get about, if you put 6,000 volts on the plate, you can get about, out of a 4-1000, you can get 4 kW.
Really?
Yes.
From the limit.
Plus a little bit. Plus a little bit. Well, you know, when you're young, you don't worry about legal limit stuff. You just do whatever you think you can do, you know. So,
We won't go there right now. Yeah. 4 kW.
Is the power on is 200 volts?
yeah, I have this room has 220, 100 amps.
220.
I had special breakers put in originally. So,
What is this all like 120 volts or 220?
well, these 2 amps are 220, and this amp is 220. Actually, I have everything on 220 right now here.
Or some special breakers?
Yes. The original tubes are still in there and they still run. And it's unique. Henry made some really great amps that Bill probably
Is it
remembers.
true?
Pardon me?
True.
Yeah, 3-500.
3-500.
Yes,
Henry radio.
Henry radio, yes.
Is this the only reason your sister lives there?
Not the only, but one of the reasons. And of course, I had various rigs in the past, but this is now I have the Icon here, the older one. The first the one that came out with 200 watts, and I have the FT2000 here. And this stuff I explained to you in the video before, the controllers for the rotators, yes. And then here's the stepper controller. And here,
This is rotator also.
this is for the stepper,
On the
change
right
bands.
side.
Here, these two are the controllers.
No, just
This?
right. Yeah, got it.
That's the interface box
Interface.
to the internet.
Okay. Oh, so. Like
This,
Oh.
this is my clock.
Oh my God.
That's 222?
So, okay.
And let me see if there's anything else noteworthy here. Not in particular at the moment. Okay, and then what I can now show you finally is oops, not too far. So this is what my station in Tokyo looks like.
Andy?
So you can see I have the logging program here. Then I have 4 windows open for the various switches, so I can see what state the switches are in. And this is the Array Solutions power meter. So when I key it, you see the output power and the SWR here. This is, I have small antenna up at my place here in Tokyo. So this is a logging program for one ABD. So, and this is a logging program for WA6URY. So I can, if I want to work some station in Japan, I just log them in on this log. So we can do here.
That time I mentioned to him that many mouse is there, I better him to put the name each mouse.
Yes, I get mixed up on the mouse.
There would like be Goromaru, Shiromaru, Sabromaru, Shiromaru, whatever.
Yeah, well, the problem is,
So many.
the problem is you can only open so many windows up on one PC. I even tried to move it over to this bigger screen here. You can see in the back, I have a bigger screen, but it really didn't help. You still have the same limitation. Maybe there's a way to do it. I haven't figured it out. So. But
There's some nice software that share one mouse across all, one keyboard across.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh. And then I could go to see what other picture I have here. That's another picture. There, you see a little bit closer now. There's the icon,
The icon.
and here's the DS.
For him.
Keyboard. I'm using use my keys, and this is a keyer for when I want to use Japan side. Here, and this is for US. And I can also, as you know, I can also log into Kubota-san's station because he also has a TS480, and I can use his station if I want to as well, or my own, either way. So because
Very active.
because on the remote rig, all you have to do is there's a setting that you can go into the computer side. You can go in there, you can change the setting, and automatically then you change who you log into. It's very quick, actually. I can't show you now, but so.
So to hook mine up, I got a TS482. Do I need a TNC?
You need this what is called remote rig. You can see it here.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Remote rig, that's what I was thinking about, Tigertronics.
Well, I would suggest remote rig.
Remote rig.
There's a new rotor indication. Before you saw it on a different way. I went ahead and changed that to this. So now I have the various, North, Europe, W1, W4, JA, K6, BKZL. That's where you can put predefined locations in. I just press it and it automatically goes there. So I don't have to do anything. The great thing on the stepper, as you know, if you're not sure whether it's a long path or short path, you just do the reverse. You can do that right on the stepper. So that makes it interesting also. Then you don't have to turn the thing around too much. So, okay, let's see what else I got here. There's one screen filled. Is there a way to get more screens on the screen or more?
Bigger screen, higher resolution.
Okay. Oh, I see. I have a bigger screen, but it's not a high resolution, and I got the same result, just was bigger, but I couldn't put more windows in it.
Then you only have one monitor for it? You can get two monitors and then you can share.
Oh, no, I haven't tried that. Think about it. There's just some.
It's possible.
Anything
One
possible.
screen divided.
Only money is the limitation.
And this is the 7J1ABD logging program. For general logging, I use Hemlog, the Japanese program, because then I can put in, the JCC code and automatically gives you where they're at, you see? 4701 is in Okinawa. And you can see all that there. So, okay, I think that's about it.
towers, are those the towers?
Yes, yes,
72-footer and
55-footer, yes.
do you ever need to crank them that way down?
I cannot do that. It's possible to do it.
Would
But-
that have any value?
Well, if there's, big storm coming or something where you think you might need to do that, but basically, the way I have it calculated, it should be okay. Should be. That's with a capital S. But-
Should be okay.
That is something that I have thought about doing, though. It is possible to do it remotely. Or as you mentioned, my sister lives there also, so it's possible there's a motor on the crank up, so I can lower it very easily. I can tell her to lower it. She knows how to do it. Her and her husband, they know how to lower it if they have to.
Okay. Can you roll it, clamp up down yourself, or no?
I cannot do it remotely.
No.
I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that remotely. I mean, you can put a lot. You can do it, and there's a lot of safety switches and so on you can put in there for protection. But I'd rather have my sister do it, or her husband. So I guess you got some idea, and I'm thinking maybe some time later this year I will show you some of my mobile operation. You've seen one set up, and I can operate 160 through 430 on mobile. To get on 160 was a real challenge from the car, but I figured it out, and I started making some contacts recently, so it can be done. And I do a lot of mobile work when I get the chance. Particularly, my wife and I like to go to the onsens.
Well, she is in the onsen, you operate.
Yeah, well, I enjoy the onsen also. But
Really?
but then after that, and some onsens are together with Michinoeki. Yeah, some of them are. So then we do both at the same time, and that's still very. It's a lot of fun, actually.
You talking about onsen or the hammer?
Both. Both, actually. Okay.
Or find some very rare spots.
Oh, yes.
JCC spot, or,
Well,
villages or something?
yeah, there's some that are a little bit rare, but actually, I also have fun because, I had to call 7J0YAA, and there are no more 7J0s. I mean, real ones. Actually, if you do 7J1 portable 0, it in a sense counts the same, but it's not the real thing. So I had that since around 95. So what I like to do is I like to go into Niigata or in Milano and operate portable 0. And I get huge pileups sometimes because it's very rare. And if you put it together with maybe a particular area which is kind of rare, it becomes even more interesting for the people listening. So, but I enjoyed that quite a bit actually. I never thought I would, but I've been doing that now since 2010. And I haven't got tired of it so far. So, and you've seen all the possible combinations I have to do that with. So, but I have the little TSFT 857, little one, and I have it right on the right side of the dash, at the bottom, just under the dash, where it actually, it's about. Here's my foot pedal, my foot for the gas pedal, and the ring is right here. So actually, I can be driving and be tuning around, and right on top of it, I'll show you. Maybe I'll take some pictures. I'll show you. I put a little mini key. And I can be sending CW while I'm driving on the highway.
Oh,
Are you aware of the what do they call it? The distracted driving bills that were.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, I heard those.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote my representative and I said, you know, we need it, whether it's the, you know, hood to coast run or emergency operation, but I never imagined, you know. I mean.
No, but you
I think it's probably
understand this.
safer than texting though.
But,
Yeah,
but the
that's
point
true.
is actually, you know, you have your foot about like so for the gas pedal, right? Like this. And if I put my hand on here, it just the perfect height for the key. So it doesn't interfere with anything.
You can barely see it, too. Right, cop walks up,
Cannot see
you're
it.
not
no.
gonna notice. I wouldn't, yeah, I mean, it's just a little.
Of course, it's on YouTube.
Let's take that out.
Well, the bill, which was written in what, 2009, exempted amateur radio in section 3, whatever. It said everybody except people who have the FCC license and are operating amateur radio because they're exempted from distracted driving. Now, on the other hand, if you're going down the road, you know, like this, they're going to pull you over. And you're gonna get cited in your radio. Well, I was operating the radio and I'm exempt. No, you're not. You know, it'd be dangerous. You know, but
The thing is, though, what this is, you don't have to take your eyes off the road. You've got one hand on the steering wheel, one on the key.
I've heard that before. One hand on the radio.
Yeah, and since my knee is supporting my hand, I mean, you know, it's no problem. But I would only do that like on the freeway or something, you know, where you have a free there. I wouldn't, in driving in Thailand, I don't do that. It's too dangerous. I mean, there's too many blind spots. You don't know who's going to come out of what corner. So
And they're operating too.
yes, yes. So
8:30.
I don't know. How long do we have this room?
The nine.
Oh, because I have a topic.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I'm finished. So
I mean,
It's okay.
yes, yes.
Just usually close to 9 o'clock we close.
oh no, this is short. This is, I just meant, you know, we going to 8:15 or you know 8:30 or something. Like
Well,
that.
whatever time you need, I think it's okay for everybody.
So, now what is it? The Chinese now are operating that foghorn. You know.
Well, I heard about the foghorn thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when you're on the air from here, and you're operating that Henry coming over back towards Japan, I bet they hear you. You could get. It's a joke that I didn't go over well. Okay, I just meant you had a lot of power. And, oh, this is pretty cool. You know that? Streaming this. Is there anybody out there watching this?
Don't know who.
The whole world. The whole world. The whole world is watching.
I did log on one time from Skype. There was a Skype, I was able to hear one time from Skype.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
What did it used to be? The Russian woodpecker, and there was over the horizon radar back in the 70s and 80s.
Yes. Well, actually, there still is
Yeah.
over the horizontal radar.
Yeah.
Maybe they call it a different name, but it's essentially the same.
Was that mean it follows the curvature of the earth?
Now, guys, don't read this, okay? Don't look at it, all right? Then pass it. Okay.
Don't read it, don't look at it.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that he would have that there would be a projector. Had I known that, I would have put this on, a little clip USB drive and
Can you turn this off?
see, I said not to.
Turn this off.
They can't.
Come on again.
No, turn it off.
Yeah, just so.
Turn it off.
Turn off. It's cooling now.
Oh, it's cooling. Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, so
By the way, did you bring that one in? Because I have one that we don't want, and if we could get them to keep it here for us, it would always be here.
well, this one we keep here.
Oh, there you go. All right, dog. All right.
It's been long that way.
Yeah, well, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So, what I wanted to put out there is as an activity for TIARA, would anybody here be ready, willing, able to come to my company where we have 4 brand new hams. They've never been on the air. We had 9 following the earthquake. You know, they were licensed about 2-3 years after the earthquake, and as the urgency kind of, you know, faded, so did their interest. And well, I've been too busy to train them, and there's a reason why I haven't trained them. For the foreigners who operate on the air here, if you operate CW, you have no issues. If you operate phone, eventually somebody will tell you about etiquette in Japan, Japanese, 日本では我々日本人がなんとか. And so here, if I'm sitting with these new guys and I'm saying, now look, you can do this, and I just don't want to get scolded on the air in front of my staff, okay? So that's the truth. So I understand. That's why I didn't do it. So anyway, hey, Kay. Hey, good. So look, basically what it is, we have a radio club. It's called Forte Science Radio Club.
Oh, you made one?
Oh yeah, we're officially JQ1 ZMA. It's a lousy quiz. JQ1, it's a lousy CW.
Well, you had to have the Z. That you don't have.
We got to have the Z. I mean, it could have been, you know, better, but not. And these hams are brand new. They went through the JARL Koshukai, and they, you know, you go for 1 day, 2 days, and then they give you the test. Pass rate's what, 96%? Anyway, they passed. And we had 8 women who passed, and 7 women and 2 guys, but some of them have left the company, they got married, they transferred. Oh my God, it's so bright in here. Oh, okay. So
that happens?
About my hearing is gone.
I was just kind of kidding you.
No, you can say anything you want. I couldn't hear it. So, too much dynamite and stuff like that. Okay. So they have no on-the-air experience. They've sat with me. They've learned how to tune the rig. They have no idea what's going on. They hear some of the stuff, and you know, they say it's not as good as my K-tie. It's and I said, yeah. So anyway, what I'm hoping to do is either after hours at work, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., weekends, holidays, whatever, if we could get a couple people who would be willing to come. We're in Shinjuku Gyoenmai, and come in for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and sit either one-on-one, or maybe a couple of them will be able to come in and operate the radio and help them make their first contact.
This would be on a sideband, right?
That's right. This is either sideband or FM. Okay, they're not able to. One of the Yongkyu is what they're coming in.
Demo Q?
Yeah, Demo Q. Yeah. So the scheduling is totally flexible. You know, whatever works for them, whatever works for you know, for the TIARA members. And if you have any experience previously mentoring somebody or or teaching somebody or helping them get involved in ham. This is a plus, but hey, we're not particular. We'll take anybody who can do this. Foreigners are okay too, but I don't recommend it because you're going to get scolded. You know, if you're saying, now look, you do this and call this way, and you know, I just don't recommend it. Okay. The modes here, sideband and FM. If anybody later the game here, let me tell you what's really behind this. What's really behind this? They're not particularly interested in amateur radio as a hobby. Not really. They're interested in disaster communications. And that's how this was presented to them. You know, help your country, help your nation. Don't you want to do this? And they signed up right away. Okay, 9 of them. And they took the Koshikai. Yeah, so I'll talk about that in a minute, because that's why the next thing here, it says desirable skills. Anybody who operates PSK31 or data or packet or something like this, because once we get them familiar with being on the air, using the equipment, deploying the solar panels, the station is completely off the grid, by the way, then, you know, our job in the event of is to exchange health and welfare information, medical translation, interpretation, but I'm not going to, I won't go into that today, okay? But that's really what's driving this in the back of this. Now, the benefits to TIARA, last year we had a great HA1JAUS event.
Yeah, we did.
It was excellent. Thanks to a lot of the, I mean, Dan, you handled the station registration and all of that. Toshi, you and Kawa drove the whole thing, and drove Andy, you know. But it got done, and it got done very, very well. God, I should have brought cards. I've got 500 blank cards. I use them for target practice, but you guys, you know, I ought to just hand them out, and you can take them. So we could do a possible article in CQ, because we're loosely affiliated with the Japan Disaster Medical Communications Network. Yeah, I don't know what the acronym is. And this is one, you know, we could talk about TIARA members training. It's an article. It's an article. I don't know. We'll make it work. It's an article. You might be able to get some of these people to come to the club. We've got what we're talking about right now is 3 women and 1 guy. They're yeah, you might have fun. We get 3 women coming to the club. They're all right. Personal satisfaction. You know, you help these people to get on the air. And there's another one here too. It's I don't know whether I will go into this, but this idea of the Diet Radio Club. Dan, you kind of remember this, right? Maybe, yes, no?
Where's
No.
the Diet Radio?
Establish relations with the Diet Radio Club.
Oh, Diet. Oh, that
Diet. Okay, that's.
Are you all right?
We know it's not working.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Diet also,
Yeah.
also rings a bell for me. Also.
Yeah, well, so.
A different one though.
Right, so now this here, okay, now you can look at the photos, okay? It's all right, now you can look at the photos. This is the current station.
That's nice.
And yeah, what you see down at the bottom of the shelf there, these are 2 100 amp hour glass mat batteries that are charged by solar panels, either up on the roof. I say either because they're not deployed right now. We have them trickle charging. But I've practiced deploying the panels on the floor by the window. I sit right next to the window. It's hot, the sun comes in, and I can get a charge. You know, I mean, we're okay with this. The rig is a K3, courtesy of Kinoshita-san.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I could have bought it out of the States, but, you know, that's, after all he's done for us, you know, I mean, I bought it through him. Okay? And the wiring is, you may not realize this, but the wiring is wrong. What I mean by this is the breakers are wrong. You have to use, I found out later, you have to use what's called an AIC, arc interrupt circuit breaker or something. You know how you can take a screwdriver and draw a spark off of something like this?
Thunderstorm or?
No. These batteries,
Batteries.
these batteries are enough to electrocute everybody in the room here, okay? And when you go over current, you can go to 1,000 amps. The breaker may trip, but the spark will traverse that gap. And so when you have the breaker trip, you actually need a piece of plastic that comes in there and interrupts, it cuts the arc. These are just standard breakers, like you wire up a house.
It's a mechanically cut.
They cut, yeah, that's right. Oh, I got a whiteboard. Yeah, so, you know, it looks like, it looks a little bit like this. It's got a shell. It's you know, this is one pole, this is the other pole, and this thing normally is out here, but when the breaker trips, this comes in and it cuts the, speak about diet. Yeah, so anyway, but that's the station. So if you're volunteering, you get to operate the K3. Okay, here's the close-up of the K3. There you go, there's the next one there. Nice color. It's not that really that colorful in real life, but you know, photos work that way. And this is, look at this. This is sexy, man. Look at that. This is the sun is going down, and you know, when the sun goes down, you know, the skip begins to happen. So
Pretty good picture.
yeah, I took that this evening at.
Is this an MFJ?
That's right. What is it? MFJ 26, MQ 26, MQ. I can't remember what it is. It's you know.
It's in loading.
Yeah, 10 and some other
How's
stuff.
the SWR? Is it okay?
It's very good. And we have, but it's not that good. I'm going to put a tuner right up there. I want to put it right up there on the roof. And we also have a VX 5000. It's what, 144, 440 dipole with about 8 decibels of gain, but it's up on the 14th floor. You know, I mean, I've operated a quarter watt out of it and hit K over in Megoroku with a quarter watt. You know, so you put 5 watts into that. In fact, it used to be a problem. You remember we had the 7J1YAA on it, and we were using it not as a repeater, but it was sending out an ID, and it was going throughout the entire Kanto plane. So anyway, but this is the setup. So if anybody is interested in volunteering, no commitment, you can, you know, one day only, one time only, multiple times. Sonobe-san, multiple times would be good. Okay. Toshi, we want to get, what, Ken, Tamura, you know, and Fumi. Okay.
We're neighbors, actually. I'm gonna go see Centralman, so should you?
Oh, gee, you're right down the block.
Yeah, but I'm not Japanese. I can, my office is.
Yeah.
I mean, but.
You know, I roast about this. When I go on the air, I don't have, I rarely have an issue, but one out of stations, I'll get somebody who will ask me if I know this rule or if I do. They're policing the. You don't have that. You're okay. You're Japanese. This is really
Well,
good.
but it's true. On sideband, it's a little bit
Lawless.
different world.
Different world.
CW don't have those issues.
No. But anyway, so if anybody is interested, I'd really, just please email me. Now,
What kind of craft are they giving you?
my hearing, I'm sorry.
What kind of craft are they giving you?
Oh, you mean one on the air?
Yeah.
It'll be anything from, I'll be operating in the, they would consider it in the CW data portion. I'll be down in the low end. They'll tell me I should be up 100 kc or something like this. It's not true. Or there'll be things like, how much power are you running? You're 40 over here. What are you running? Tokyo Juwato nan desu yo. Go Juwato. So,
The device is
Say
it's actually 50 watts, right?
yeah, 50 watts. That's right. So, and I've got something similar to Dan. I've got a step IR up at 33 meters. And boy, you aim that thing somewhere, and at 100 watts, it's and then if you juice it just a little bit, at times. Oh, I've seen the trees. It comes in and the flames are coming off the top of the trees. Yeah, it's quite a yeah. So, but I mentioned there was a reason behind this, and it's important to me, and it's important to my company, and it's important to me for another reason. I never did a presentation here. I keep watching myself on here, and this is really bad. Yeah, right. Okay. My interest for the last 3, 4, 5 years has been in emergency communications, and I'm what we call I'm an all hazards incident management team communications unit leader. That's a big title, right? That means it's a very tiny job in a big government bureaucracy. That's the only way you can specify it. It's like specifying a part in the computer. You know what I mean? It's just, my job is to fill out forms and stamp them and then pass them on.
It's part of the incident command system?
Correct. That's right. It's part of the incident command system. And in my county back in Oregon, I'm an assistant emergency coordinator for my county. This is weird because I'm living over here. But I'm on Zoom every day or connected somehow to what's going on there. I know which trees went down. I know what accidents there were, but that's another story. So were you guys here during the earthquake in 2011? Okay, all right, well, you know. And we dodged a bullet in Tokyo. We didn't have a big earthquake here. That wasn't bad. We walked home one night. We had a few days of no food on the shelves. We had to walk up the stairs and didn't use the elevator. In the summer, that summer, we didn't turn the air conditioner on. We didn't suffer. But if we do have the Kanto Daishinsai or the Nankai quake, we're SOL. We're in bad shape. So one of the things that I think that the staff that really turned the people in my company into ham radio operators. We had, Ando-san had helped me to, he'd brought over 7J1 YAA, which was an IRLP station. Tokyo did not lose the internet, and we didn't lose electricity on the day of the earthquake. But you couldn't use your Keitai, you couldn't use anything because of it. But we used IRLP to connect with Korea, and from Korea, I said, look, here's my name, here's my phone number in the States. We have a number of people here. Everybody's fine. Would you please relay this? Within 10 minutes, my wife had the call, and her 40 years of bad attitude about amateur radio was changed like that. Yeah, I hear her sometimes, no, but I'm really serious. She'll be at a cocktail party, just like amateur radio, it's really good. She's from New York. She's from New York. So anyway, but the staff saw this. The people at the company saw this. They heard me on the radio. They saw me walking around, and we knew before anybody, because we were all outside, we knew about the tsunami. They said, we're watching it on TV. It's things. The world is coming to an end. And I said, there's been a tidal wave of tsunami there. No, we didn't know this at the time, but we heard it over the radio. So they got religion. They were sold. And I have not made good on my part of the bargain, which was that I said, okay, I'll train you. I'll help you to do this stuff. And I've been traveling. I'm coming up on 2 million miles in Delta. Okay, nothing to brag about. What I mean is I haven't been there. And I'm getting close to retiring. I'm going to retire, okay? And when that happens, I don't know what will happen. So I want to train, I want to get these people going. Please help me. Please help me to do this game, okay? Fumi, okay? I need you guys. I really need you to do this. And there's more behind this, but for the time being, if you're interested, I'll be glad to do a presentation on the emergency systems that we use, my Go box and other stuff like that.
Who do you work for? Who do you work for?
In Japan?
Yeah.
It's a little company. It's called.
CIA.
No.